Welcome to the Indie Tea Talk podcast. I'm Adam and this is Katie, your host for a journey into indie music across the north of England. Tune in as we explore unique melodies, chat with talented artists and create a space that you can discover your favourite artists like never before. Also, if you're a new listener to Indie Tea Talk podcast, please show your support by hitting that subscribe button. It's a massive help to us and also to the amazing artists that come onto our lovely podcast. Today on the podcast, we're thrilled to welcome Slow Team, a postmodern alternative three-piece from Leeds that have been making waves with their ethereal grunge explosion. Combining shoegaze, electroacoustic and grunge elements, this band has quickly risen from the ashes of previous projects, creating a unique sound that's already captivating audiences across the UK. From their hometown to cities like Nottingham, Manchester and Hull, Slow Team are proving that they're anything but slow, and we can't wait to dive into their journey. So, without further ado, please welcome Max and Lucy.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you today?
Yeah, not bad. It's been the end of a slightly hectic week, but we're very glad to be in the countryside where it's nice and peaceful.
It is nice and peaceful. I feel like we've had a bit of a mad recording weekend for the podcast, and I feel like it's been anything but peaceful for us, but in like a really good way.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's been from one thing to the next, and I don't feel like I've sat down properly for like 48 hours.
It's still so nice when you go outside though here,
Yeah.
and it's
You're in
just
the right place.
calm.
There's a field right there that you can just walk across, which is dead nice.
Yeah, and just at the bottom of the road, it's the sea as well, so it's like,
Oh, it's so nice.
yeah, I feel like I'm going to need to have a walk at the sea this
Yeah,
afternoon.
definitely.
A
Treat
little
yourself.
swim might be
Yeah,
a set.
yeah.
Oh god, yeah, especially it's stiflingly warm in the studio today, so
Yeah.
if anyone's got shiny foreheads, me mainly.
Yeah, get yourself in an ulti.
At least Lucy and I have the fringes to
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
cover it up.
Hiding the sheen.
Yeah, if I do that, I'd end up covering my entire face. Which doesn't work as well.
Well, so your sounds kind of pull from a pretty wide range of influences, from Bon Iver to Radiohead. How do you kind of pull all these strands together to create your diverse signature Slow Team show?
It's kind of weird. Like, we don't really set out to sound like anything. We just kind of start writing something, and then all of a sudden, like halfway through writing a song, we'll realise that it sounds like this artist or this artist. And
Yeah.
we all listen to such a kind of diverse range of artists that they kind of naturally bleed into the music that we're writing.
That's nice that it's a natural process though, rather than a forced, let's try and squish all these genres together. Quite nice that you've all come from different backgrounds or have different different interests, and then they've all kind of naturally combined.
Yeah.
But you definitely hear that. It doesn't sound forced at all.
Yeah.
I feel like when we're starting a new project, we do kind of like, we aim for artists. Like, we kind of have a big melting pot, I think we call it.
A big mixtape on Spotify that we've all kind of collaborated on, or generally me and Max have collaborated on, and it tends to sort of, I think like what we create tends to sound like what we're listening to at that time in our lives. So like when we produced Birds, I think it was is it like 2 years? Coming up 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Me and Max were listening to loads of Bon Iver, and I feel like that really came out in the studio. So like we took loads of inspiration from like 33 God. There's a couple of others from that album that we were really interested to look at on the song. But yeah, that's kind of what we do. We just kind of replicate what we've been listening to, or it always like finds itself in little pieces of the song, which is quite nice.
It's also like half of the stuff that ends up on the track that you're like, oh, that sounds like this artist, is usually just us trying like stupid shit.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Right.
Like, we'll just be like, oh, what if we put this in there? And then Morgan's like, yeah, do that. And then we do it, and it's like, oh, right, now this is like a combination between like Villagers and like Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
Nice, I like that. So different.
With cause you've got members coming from different musical backgrounds and different projects, and what was the initial creative process like when forming Slow Team? Was it smooth sailing, or was there like
It was really gradual.
Was
like, so Morgan and Lucy came in when we were still Bloodhound, which was like the previous kind of iteration of the band.
Yes, I didn't know if that was a...
Yeah,
I was
kinda-
trying to work out if it was a continuation / reformation / or a completely different project. I was
like
trying to
a-
work that out.
It's like a reformation, I think. Morgan and Lucy came in, and then Bex left, and at that point we were like, it needs to kind of start again. And I think Bloodhound was very much, it was a lot more aggressive than what we are now, and a lot kind of grungier and a lot rockier. And Lucy's come from more of kind of a jazz background, and Morgan used to play in Talk More, which is more kind of like indie pop. So kind of fusing those three together was a really gradual process, and deciding when was the right point to kind of restart it and start kind of breathing fresh life into some kind of ideas that we had.
Like it was really scary at the start, especially for somebody like me who's not used to kind of like screaming down a mic and really, you know, being confident on stage in a setting like that. But and it was a really, really gradual process, but I feel like I've kind of mastered the ropes now enough to kind of, you know, put the jacket on when I'm on stage or when I'm performing a song. You know, like in front of a producer or whatever. I'm super comfortable doing that now, but it has been such a learning process for me and Morgs, in the sense that we've come into something completely different to what we've kind of done before, but but we're both like really proud of it.
And I guess have brought your own thing to it in
totally,
itself.
yeah, that's what we wanted to do.
When you say like a slow process, what's your time frame on that? Like, it
was a couple of years.
Yeah.
Like for me, I think the hardest part for me was trying to let go of what Bloodhound was, and also just like trying not to force Lucy and Morgan into, like, trying not to shoehorn them into like what Bloodhound was, and being okay with, like, because that was like a 7-year project. So it's like being okay with letting that go and switching headspace from Bloodhound into Slow Team, and making sure that when we started Slow Team, it was a much more collaborative process instead of trying to get Lucy and Morgan to play.
To be Bloodhound.
To play songs that they hadn't written. I think that was the hardest part for me, was to try and let go of Bloodhound and kind of switch my head off.
Yeah.
And then put it into a different headspace, I think.
And I mean, it's clearly paid off. Your debut release has been turning heads even beyond your current fan base. How does that feel after like 2 years of putting it together and building it slowly? How does it feel to gain that kind of traction and attention?
Oh, right. So I was at uni when we found out that I was literally sitting in a cafe just doing some uni work, and I found out that Snake Melons had been like playlisted on the Spotify editorial. Max had no idea, and Morgan had no idea. I was
I
like
can't even
looking
remember
at
where
it,
I was.
literally, and I was just like, oh my god, we're on an editorial playlist, like. And we've done all our releases completely organically. Like, we've not ever really gone to any PR companies to help, because we've all got like skills in that, if you see what I mean. And getting that was really, really good. And being able to, you know that other people had heard that, like, from all over. And when you look at who's listening to it, you know, it's gone international, which is ace.
Yeah, the Spotify artists app is so good
So
for that,
mad,
isn't it? And you look and you're like, oh my god, no way.
Yeah, and it's
Someone in
like
Colombia is
yeah,
listening.
so random. Like, I think there was a couple in like South America or something, and it was like, who's listening to us in South America? Like, who's got the time of day? But it was, that was really, really rewarding. But but even so, like, the other releases have been received really well. Like, we've had quite a few radio plays, and everyone that comes to shows can pick out their favourites, definitely, of those.
I think There Are Birds Falling Out of the Sky was under Bloodhound, I think, at the time. But that was the first song that we ever wrote collaboratively as a 3-piece. So it felt like it was almost like a precursor to before we changed the name. Yeah. And then once we changed the name, we were like, okay, it was almost like the track informed the name change.
Yeah, definitely.
It was like, that felt like the right direction. And when we kind of landed on Slow Team, it was like, okay, well, it definitely is cohesive with the music that we've already written.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And it, at the beginning, like you said, like doing Bloodhound songs and stuff, like, did kind of feel like kind of this is Max's band and this is like I'm just covering the songs for him and stuff and whatever. But now that we are like Slow Team, it's so collaborative, and it feels like everybody gets a hand in on like how we write and how we produce and how we gig even, and it's really nice to have that.
Yeah, that is lovely.
Yeah.
And there are still songs that we play that are technically Bloodhound songs. We Bloodhound had another record recorded that never came out because it wasn't. Oh, we kind of rushed through it. But some of those songs of Match Point's an old Bloodhound song.
Yeah.
Have they adapted then with coming into the Slow Team trio? Have the old Bloodhound songs, if you like, adapted at all?
Yeah.
I think it's more been like we kind of just played through everything and just kept the ones that felt right.
Yeah,
Right.
nice.
Yeah, the ones that felt cohesive with the sort of new lineup.
completely.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that. So you've obviously had some really good feedback from your recorded content, but tell us about your live shows, because obviously we were speaking while setting up, and you've got quite a technical setup.
We try to make the live shows as enticing as possible and as like energetic as we can, because I think what we do is we look at a track. We don't record a song and think that we need to record this stuff and we can't put this on the track because we won't be able to play it live. We kind of work that out afterwards, and I think
Yeah, do it and then build yourself the challenge
Pretty much,
of
yeah.
how we can do this live.
The fun bit about that is just like working out how much of the track we can actually perform live. And a lot of that has come down to like we kind of built a keyboard rig that now has lots of fancy buttons and bells and whistles and kind of does a lot of what we need it to do to replicate everything live. We do have backing tracks, but there's not like a load of stuff on it. We try to keep it as live as possible, but it's just about making it as fun and enthralling for the audience members as possible, I think. And that is purely born from like when Bloodhound started. Like, we were purely a live band for years before we even put anything out, and building the songs live first in a rehearsal room. Even now as Slow Team, we build them in a rehearsal room. Like we've just started playing a new song recently that me and Morgan wrote together in like a little practice studio. Then we brought it to Lucy, and then we kind of put a demo down, and then like everything's born from just like a couple of instruments, and then we build on top of that.
Yeah.
So we always like to ask if your music was a flavour of tea. In theme with the indie tea talk mantra. What would it be? And
I
why?
love that you always pick your indie tea talk.
I'm showing it off now because obviously this is a fairly new addition to the podcast, and I love it. I'm really proud of it. So every time I ask a question, I pick the cup up.
That's so nice. Oh.
I feel like we're some sort of weird, like fucking spicy.
Yeah, something like a wood spice sort of like
No, just like jalapeno flavored tea. Like it's like spicy and also a little bit bitter, and you kind of take a sip and you're like, fuck, that was awful. But then after a while you're like, I want to do that again.
yeah.
And in the spirit of
Jalapeno.
that, you brought Taylor's coffee bags.
I know, yeah.
So I don't really drink a lot of tea, and I drink loads of coffee, and my compromise was to bring coffee in a bag. Taylor's do these, like, they put coffee in an enveloped bag,
Yeah.
and you can make it like a cup of tea.
They smell wonderful. When you were making one earlier, I was like,
They're a
Nice.
good,
smells lovely.
they're a really good middle ground.
Yeah.
But I also bought chamomile tea pigs because I am partial to that, especially after a show.
Yeah, like how there's only two of you, but there's three drinks
three
on
drinks.
the table.
Yeah, Max can't decide. He's just really indecisive.
Well, I wanted to represent the coffee side of things, but then I also wanted to be true to the show
yeah.
Love
and bring a
it.
tea. And
I love it.
tea.
And Lucy?
Yeah, again, I would probably say like something spicy again, something that you hate initially, and then you're like, oh my god, this is actually like this is okay, and you start to see the genius of it, and you're like, oh, actually,
Marmite tea.
this is actually pretty good. Like, yeah, Marmite tea. Yeah, if Marmite tea was a flavour, I think it probably is somewhere. I feel like it's something Bird and Blend would do.
Twiglet tea.
Yeah,
Yes,
Twiglet
that's
tea.
it.
Yeah, like I really hate Twiglets, but I can eat them. Like if I'm absolutely starved, if I was on a desert island,
So
and
you're not
all I
the
had
love
was
or
Twiglets,
hate.
I'd eat them. Like, do you know what I mean? But yeah, we're a bit sort of, yeah, we're that sort of thing. I mean, I brought biscuit brew, so that really says a lot about me and my taste in tea.
Amazing. Should we hear one of your tracks then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What have you got for us first?
I think Snake Melons is what we're going to do first, which was the last single that we released, and the one that's done the best so far. I think it's kind of a song about realizing. It's really difficult to describe this actually because it's quite elusive. Like a lot of the lyrics are quite elusive and mysterious, but it is generally about just kind of like realizing where the boundaries are in certain conversations and not letting other people kind of limit those, and also knowing kind of where to stop. It's sort of a kind of
Amazing.
weird song.
Brilliant. Well, let's give it a listen.
Yellow, blue, made the day
So you recently went on a mini tour, which I actually wouldn't even consider a mini tour because you did play in Bristol, London, Hull, Leeds. That's enough to not consider it a mini tour. But we heard there was a near-death experience involving a lorry.
Oh, yeah.
And
No, I wrote this down.
we have to ask about it.
It's gonna make me sound really bad.
Yeah. Do you want to
I think we were just a little bit behind for soundcheck one day, and I think I just made a risky overtake maneuver.
I think the funniest thing was I was reflecting on, like, I don't know, being away is a really kind of stressful experience for me. I don't know, like going with boys, it's kind of, I don't know, for a girl, I've kind of got to pack more in a sense and, you know, think about things. And I'd been overthinking the whole thing. And then actually when we were in the car on the way to the sound check, I was reflecting on the gigs and going like, oh, I actually feel really good. Like, I feel like I'm in like the best place of my life. Like, this has been such a rewarding experience, like being with the boys. And then Max absolutely like rammed his foot down and decided to try and overtake this really slow moving car round a bend. And I was like,
On a bend, Matt.
I don't think it was on a bend.
No. It was near a bend. I remember it being near a bend. And literally, like, I think he tried it once and then he tried it again. And I was just like, why, man? Like, I've just been saying, like, how much, like, oh, everybody's just, it's all coming together. Like, we're having a great time. And then it's like, bam, dead, slow tune, gone.
I can't excuse that behaviour. It was a bad week.
Yeah. He was tired. He was so
week.
tired. And yeah, but that's what happened. But yeah, the whole tour was really fun, apart from that one experience.
It was just, everyone was feeling a bit tired, and I was like, guys, we need the energy up in this place.
Yeah,
We've got to play a show tonight.
Yeah.
to be fair, it must be tough for you guys if like you're saying, if you do come to every show where your main kind of theme in your head is that you want the audience to have the best possible time.
Yeah.
Then it must be quite tiring if you're like, I don't know, concentrating so much on, is the audience having the most energetic, fun time ever? If you are tired, to show up and kind of put that persona on.
We do throw a lot into the live shows.
Yeah.
Physically, as people. Like,
and they're tiring anyway. They're tiring, like, emotionally, let alone jumping about on stage.
yeah, because I mean, a lot of the subject matter that we sing about isn't exactly tip-top cheery.
No. Yeah. And
So
like
reliving that, I think, can be difficult.
It's kind of like revisiting, this sounds really awful, but revisiting trauma, but in the same way as, like, it's cathartic, and you kind of have to do it with songs because otherwise, like what's the point otherwise? But yeah,
It's almost like this is going to sound really bleak, but it's almost like going to a grave, like visiting a grave and laying some flowers down.
all right.
More morbid, but like that's how I envisage it.
And that's the cut. That's the.
That's the
It's like visiting a grave.
that's the little pull quote.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're having
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, saving that.
Sound.
That'll be a reel in
Bookmark
about
that, yeah.
4 days' time. Can't wait to send you that through.
Yeah.
Oh God.
What else have you taken away from your live tours? And was there any other experiences that really resonated with you?
I think a lot of the time we play new songs. We get bored really easily of the songs that we put out, which sounds really bad, but we're always kind of like, we write a new song and we're like, yeah, let's play that, and let's not play the single that we put out last week. So I think generally we do play a lot of new songs, which then kind of, the way that we perform them and the kind of little inflections that we do every night tend to inform how we record them, which is a really interesting experience because they can turn out completely different from how you think you're going to go in. Like, it can totally flip your headspace.
Yeah,
as you enter a
that's
studio.
a really cool thought process for it, actually, because I mean, I've not recorded properly I've not been in a studio in a really long time, but I guess songs do adapt as you play them live, and you delve into them a little bit more and learn the song.
I always feel like the songs that we've been more proud of have been the ones, like when we've recorded them, have been the ones that we've played live like so many times before.
That you know inside and out
Exactly.
before you're even in the room.
Because they've had time to grow and time to develop. And yeah, and you just, I don't know, when you're recording it almost feels more live in a sense, which is nice.
Yeah.
I
think as well, I mean, touring is so hard. Like, it's really draining, energy draining, a lot of late nights, a lot of like, especially when you're playing a show, the adrenaline levels are just through the roof and you come off stage and you feel great. Then about half an hour later, you just crash.
Just have the big dump.
Yeah, and it's really jarring. But I think the best thing about touring in Slow Team is that it's a really safe camp. Like, it's like, usually I'm the one that does all the driving. We're all crammed into my car with all of the stuff. But like, our drummer on the
Overtaking
last...
lorries, you know.
Yeah, overtaking lorries. Our drummer on the last run had a little magnetic chess set.
Oh,
so him
yeah.
and Morgan would just sit in the back and play chess. And we'd have like a Spotify collaborative jam playlist, so everyone could just put songs in, and like, it's a good vibe. And like, we try and stop at like nice service stations to just like have something to talk about.
Yeah, because Max won't shop anywhere but Waitrose or
That is
like, it's
okay.
awesome. Oh, M&S services, yeah.
Oh,
You guys are so rock
Max,
and roll.
Farm shop services only.
Yeah.
I was going to say, have you ever been to booths in near the Lake District?
Cumbria.
Yeah, stop. The
What
one in
place?
Penrith. So
Oh,
What
my
place?
God.
I went
What
to the
place?
Lake District recently, and coming back, I went in a booth supermarket I'd never been in before. They're
This
magical.
is news to me.
When you go back to a
I don't know what this
Sainsbury's-
is.
I got a really fancy raspberry and white chocolate ice cream, and it was amazing.
The
It
way that they're
tasted
laid
better because
out.
I'd paid so much money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
And then you go back to like the Sainsbury's local around the corner from your house, and you're like, this is shit.
Sainsbury's is bougie, man. Sainsbury's is already bougier than my weekly shop.
Yeah, yeah. To be fair, I shop at Aldi. Max
Me
shops
too.
At Sainsbury's. It's
Aldi all the way.
That says enough.
But like,
joking.
yeah, it's a really nice camp. Is Slow Team. Everyone just picks each other up. If someone's having
Yeah.
a shit day, it's like, right, well, let's go and do something. Let's go for a walk. Or let's...
They're the kind of people you want to be around when you're on a tiring tour as
Yeah,
well.
we're quite a healthy group actually. We often go for morning runs before we set
Oh
off.
my goodness. Is that true?
Morgan and Max went for a couple of runs whilst we stayed at Max's, but I never slept that amazing. But I also run as well, but I didn't have it in me to go. Basically, I did like I think I did a 10K before we went to London that day. I remember running really far at my mum and dad's house. I remember doing that.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was
Morgan
class.
came out with me once and followed me for a couple of miles, and then I looked behind me and he just wasn't there.
yeah.
And then he rang me and he was like, "Oh, I've just gone into like a field. I'll
Yeah.
see you back at home." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Party
He's
with
gone
the
off in his
trees.
own little like side quest.
Yeah, that was fun. But yeah, we're all quite like, we are kind of rock. I mean, Morgan's rock and roll, really. Me and Max are kind
Definitely
of the more
not rock and roll.
sensible.
I'm like,
people.
right, show's done. Pack the car, go to bed.
Yeah, we're both like, right, we're knackered, let's go to bed. But yeah, Morgs is like, right, no, we're staying up. Who's going out? Who's going out in this city? Who's booking a hotel? We're doing this, and it's
Usually
You-
just kind of like leave him to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have to have one person that's like that, and he is our little rock star. So
It's like a Jack Russell.
yeah. We
Exactly, yeah.
often say he's like a Jack Russell on Viagra, like because he is a little bit like that, but in like the best way.
I am going to really
I love
struggle to pick out
I
the
love that
reels on
he's
this one.
not. I love that he's not here to defend himself today either.
No. I don't think he would. I think he's said that about
He'll
himself.
he'll get in the comments and put a couple of voice notes in.
Oh, he will totally. Yeah.
God. Pulling it back to when we were talking about how you take your freshly written songs onto the stage. How do you sort of approach the writing stage before you get to that point? Is it very collaborative? Does one person take the lead, or?
I used to kind of single-handedly try and put an idea down. I used to take a guitar when I work on tour and like lay something down on tour and put some drums around it and some bass and some keys, and then kind of send it to the guys and see what they think. But often that can stunt the process. I think it can already seem like I've taken it past the point of like past all the forks in the road that could make the song interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, it's already too fully formed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Precisely. So we've started. Me and Morgan kind of went to Pirate Studios in Leeds a couple of weeks ago. Just me and him. I got on the kit and he got on the bass, and we just kind of we decided that with this next project that we're kind of working towards, that we want to make it a little bit kind of more upbeat. We want to make it a bit more like LCD, Nine Inch Nails, James Blake, like kind of
Nice.
trancey, dancey kind of music. And me and him got in a room and wrote something, and then the next day we kind of programmed the drums and laid the bass down on a demo, and then couple of days later, me and Lucy did all the keyboards and the guitars, and then Morgan came round, and then we did the vocals, and then it kind of just slowly over a few days built into this kind of newly formed track. And then we got to the end of it and we were like, it's fucking great.
Well, amazing.
And that kind of felt like the new way to kind of, that we're going to start writing music, I think.
Yeah, nice.
I think it's something that evolves as well, isn't it? Like
100%.
Yeah, and
'cause
is
you
ever
can stagnate,
changing.
can't you? You know, you do that so many times and you're like, right, I'm bored of this. I need to try something else, because like we're just coming out with the same results. Or
Yeah, because I've been writing in that old way for such a long time. And I
But
think
also you might have patches of like, I don't know, Lucy might have a month of just being like, yeah, I'm on it. And I can write loads of songs, or you know, whoever else. You might all have little patches of creative kind of spurred moments, but I think that's quite nice about a band rather than being a solo artist, is that you can take inspiration from each other. And say if you're having a little bit of a dry patch and you're like, oh yeah, nothing's really coming to me, I'm not really getting anything new, then you have lovely people around you that can help form that.
I think also like another direction that we tried and have tried a couple of times actually is Lucy will send me some vocals and an acoustic guitar, or vocals and piano or something, and then I'll arrange the track. So I'll kind of arrange the drums and the bass and the keys and the guitars and send it back to Lucy and be like, what do you think of this? And she would be like, oh, maybe it could be a little bit like this. And it's a back and forth where Lucy writes the core material of the song.
And then you'll bounce off each other.
Yeah. So like the last song that we played in the session today is like, that song's existed for 6 years, maybe? It was something that you had lying around that you sent to me before you were even in the band.
I think I wrote it in lockdown. It was just as we were coming out of lockdown, actually. And I sent it to Max because we were passing demos. I wasn't in the band. I didn't have anything to do with it. I was just really good mates with Max. And we were passing demos to each other back and forth and just kind of like bouncing off each other. He showed me a couple of Bloodhound demos and stuff that had maybe even songs that we're playing now, like maybe a couple of those as well, which was cool. But yeah, and then that grew. But it's always really exciting to see how somebody else kind of looks at your song and kind of works with it and how they interpret it and how they interpret the lyrics. And that song's grown, exponentially. So it's really, it's a really cool process. And, you know, if anything, I think that's kind of what I want to do more. But I also love getting in a room and just hashing out something. And then But
we've got another 2 or 3 of yours in
totally.
in the bank ready to go when we kind of circle back to that sound again.
Yeah. But for now, I think we're exploring something completely different that kind of reflects what me and the boys are listening to quite a lot, at the moment. So that's really exciting to think about.
Yeah. You've you kind of give us a couple of little hints there towards what you're moving towards with your new sounds. Have you got any new release dates in mind, or
nothing solid? We're kind of in the process of finishing up this first mixtape as Slow Team. We've got 4 tracks out from it at the minute, and we've got another 2 kind of that are almost done. And when they're done, that'll kind of be a cohesive kind of body of work that we're going to put out. And then past that is this new song that we've started playing recently is going to be the kind of start, the seed of the next mixtape.
Right.
And that's definitely the direction that we want to go in, because we finished that demo and we were all like, yeah, this is really cool.
No, that's nice.
So a lot less guitar and a lot more keyboards is the kind of vibe.
Electronic rather than kind of organic acoustic. Well, no, I say acoustic, not acoustic, but
a lot more kind of
guitars.
like rhythmic elements rather than like this kind of shoegazy stuff.
Yeah, like leaning into more trip hoppy kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a better way of putting it, actually. Yeah, that sort of style.
We actually had a friend of ours remix a couple of our old singles recently. We haven't put them out yet, but we're just kind of waiting for him to master them. But they're so cool, and we listened to them and we were just like, this is what we want it to be like.
Nice.
What about tours? Have you got any tours lined up?
We're going to be quite quiet for the rest of the year because we're all really busy. But
hibernation.
Yeah, it's hibernation. It's almost like we're gonna go and finish off the commitments that we have at the minute, and then next year we're kind of planning to put a little bit more time into it and do some more shows kind of collectively instead of just like a bit more sparsely. So I think we'll work on getting something together for February, and then hopefully this, with all the kind of time that we're going to have next year, the next mixtape will happen a bit quicker, because this one's been in the works for way too long.
We are, you forgot to mention as well, but we are supporting Embrace on a couple of tour dates in November. We're supporting in Norwich and Brighton, and at the end of November. So that's
exciting.
cool.
That is exciting.
I did forget about that.
Yeah, and we put a post out a couple of days ago when it got announced, and so many people were like, oh my god, and and it's like, that's the reunion tour that they're doing is kind of like, well, not reunion tour, but like the album tour they're doing is like my dad's favorite album of theirs, and like that's really nice, and just so we're really excited to head back down south and play some big shows.
2 places we've never been before as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've always tried to get down to Brighton, but that we've just failed on like multiple occasions, which is annoying. But stuff gets in the way, and venues are sometimes they can't do it for whatever reason. So it'd be really nice to actually head down south and see those places and meet some more people.
How exciting
as well. Yeah.
How about your next live track for us then? What have you going to be performing next?
Going to do Match Point, which was technically the first Slow Team release that we did, and is kind of an old Bloodhound song that got rejigged in the new formation, and it's kind of about it's really depressing. It's just about
Can't wait.
It's about this kind of almost impending doom, feeling like you've checkmated yourself into a situation that you can't really get out of.
Brilliant.
Shut down time again. Feeling like I can't really breathe. Climb on through my veins. I guess I'll never make it back the same. It gets so bright in here, so bright and so sincere, so bright in here, so bright. Shut down time again. A change in the groove I'm in, and there's trouble in the wind. I can taste the soil in my mouth. It gets so bright in here, so bright and so sincere, so bright
So that kind of brings us to the end section of the podcast. We've just got a couple of quick fire questions for you. So you mentioned in the little document that I asked you to fill in before you come on that your mini tour was kind of fueled by booze and cigs. I just wondered what the weirdest thing you'd eaten or drank while on tour was.
Those crisps, the big.
Yeah, I had a packet of
Yeah.
crisps from Farm Shop Services, which
Of
were
course.
called only exclusively by crisps at Farm Shop Services. They were called slabs, and they were, I kid you not, like this thick crisps,
Thick with
chips.
a
Like
K.
that thick.
Yeah.
And they were like massive. They were amazing. It wasn't weird, but it was just like
Yeah.
abnormal.
What flavour were they?
Roast chicken.
Yeah, they looked good. I didn't have any, but
Weren't allowed.
no,
Stand clear.
Max doesn't share his organic farm foods food.
I'm a grown boy.
Yeah, but it was. But yeah, that was probably the weirdest thing. I don't think there's.
I know. I can't think of anything else. But I mean,
There was the Japanese restaurant, and you ordered a steak by accident, but you're vegetarian. I remember.
oh yeah, no, yeah,
And that was funny.
that's true.
If you
Yeah.
guys had to, the way I'm going to word it sounds like it's
I'm
like
excited
a
about this
wrestle walkout song. If Slow Team had a walkout song for every time you come on stage, is there one that you could all agree on to
Yes.
be your walkout song?
100%. It has to be Justice. Genesis by Justice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah. To be fair, it's a good song. Yeah.
We used to walk on stage to On Days Like These by
Yeah.
Matt Monroe.
Oh,
If you've ever
nice.
seen the beginning of The Italian Job.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's probably more us actually now. I don't. Well, not now, but like when we first started. But that was really fun.
But
That
if
was
it's
just
like
funny.
a macho kind of like
Yeah, like
has to be
Da-da-da-da.
Genesis.
crowd. Yeah.
Genesis by Justice. 100%.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you had to describe your music using only movie titles, what would it be?
Oh my god.
A bit like maybe like.
This is the point where you forget every film you've ever seen.
Die Hard.
No. Maybe like.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I like
for,
that.
for
That'll
Slow
do.
Team, Fast
Yeah.
and Furious
Fast and Furious,
is
yeah, the
contrasting
irony.
but
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, the great irony. Yeah, probably that. Fast and Furious. Maybe a bit of Twin Peaks in there somewhere. Maybe I don't know. Like really odd. Something a little bit like really trippy. Like
The
the
Men Who
Shack.
Stare at Goats.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a great film.
it is indeed.
Yeah, something like that. Just
Poor
a bit odd.
Things, the new
Yeah,
Emma Stone film.
Poor
that's
Things.
that's
is
you
actually a really
guys.
good
That's
one.
actually a really good
Yeah.
one. Yeah, no, that's probably us. To be fair.
Sorry, I
Minus all
answered
the-
for you. I was like, ask you the
No.
question, then be like,
Your
actually,
answer's
you're
shit.
wrong.
I'll tell you the
minus-
answer.
Yeah, minus all of the the sex, like probably just that whole soundtrack is just very us, like weird sounds, and you don't
Yeah.
really know what's going on, but it looks quite nice. Like, yeah,
Maybe Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels
yeah,
A great
that's a good
film.
one. Yeah.
Basically, you just, you're a great film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
what you guys
we fit
are.
into all categories.
as well.
Yeah.
And then to finish off, maybe the TV show Succession. That's
I
what-
haven't
that's
seen
what we are.
Succession.
No, same.
You're on your own there in this room, I'm
No.
afraid.
Oh, well,
Yeah, sorry.
you're all missing out.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it, though. It sounds like a great answer.
It is.
Yeah.
And it might bring you some success.
It might. It
Exactly.
actually might. Yeah.
So how can your audience, or how can the audience that we bring, hopefully, find your music? Where are you? What platforms are you on?
Everywhere. We're on all different types of social media, apart from TikTok.
Yeah.
None of us really know how to work it. So
I have no idea. I created an account for it, and I just
Oh, did you?
yeah.
Did you create
yeah,
one?
We've got one.
I don't
apparently.
have one yet.
I
It's
put
a
some stuff on it.
really-
It's really weird.
Yeah.
but most of it is just Slow Team Band.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
we've got a Music Glue website, which is musicglue.com/slowteam.
You also have a lovely T-shirt behind you.
Yeah.
Are they for sale anywhere?
They are for sale on our Bandcamp, where you can also buy all of our singles.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How
You
many?
might get some free stickers in the
We have
post.
5 singles out, maybe even more.
Yeah. Yeah. Do
A
we?
plethora of music by the band Slow Team.
Yeah.
Plus T-shirts and
Plus
the
T-shirts.
possibility of stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always like a secret
Always
sticker
good.
thrown in there.
Yeah. Always good.
Cool. Well, that kind of wraps up another episode of Indie Tea Talk. Thank you so much for coming over and putting up with our extremely hot studio today. It's been absolutely amazing. It's been a pleasure. Please remember to follow Slow Team on all their socials, and if you could grace us with a subscribe on YouTube or a like or follow on Instagram or whatever it is.
If you can
that would
find
be-
the
if
long
you-
lost TikTok.
Yeah, if you can find the
It's
TikTok,
there. You just have
like,
to find it. Yeah.
and there's stuff on it as well. Like, it's brilliant.
I didn't know
I
this.
think.
That's so bad.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks again, and until next time, cheers.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
Thank you.
much.